This video is brought to you in part by The Night Sheriff by Phil Foglio. Bartholomew Zenon's Zenon land is protected by the Night Sheriff. Day and night, he's burdened by a witch's curse to be aware of all that live and play within the massive fantasy theme park. Now an attack on the park by a monster hunter who knows far too much threatens everything: the guests, the staff, and the supernaturals who take refuge in the park. The Night Sheriff must scramble to uncover not only the source of the threat, but the secrets of the park of which even he was not aware. If he doesn't, he may be doomed. The park may be doomed. And even the world may be doomed. And that's a lot of doom. Go to Amazon.com for your copy today. Hey kids, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Planet Zoo and the National Wildlife Park. What we're going to do today is I'm going to give you guys a little tour of the wild Arctic section, which is, of course, the zone we just completed. Now, I'm going to use a secret command in order to facilitate this. Basically, let's pause it for just a moment so I can concentrate. Basically, if you take a guest like this nice lady here, her name is Alma Bauman from what it says, and you rename her Hedged Cam. Well, now you can wander the zoo as if you were a guest. At least you're supposed to be able to. Huh. It's not working. Okay. Here we go. Try this again. See if it's going to work this time. Well, it doesn't look like it, but that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to give a tour of the wild Arctic zone. This is, of course, one of the entrances to that zone. If you look out this way, you see that, there's nothing else out here really. I mean, I did put in a little sidewalk cafe over here, and there's another entrance to the wild Arctic zone there. But for the most part, there's nothing else outside of this zone. So let's just move our way in, shall we? This walkway does have educational boards spaced out, and it's got some nice landscaping here that it's all very Norwegian forest. And then, of course, you have this archway. And the archway leads up to our first habitat. I'm trying not to move the camera too much. Our first habitat is, of course, the reindeer. I like how this habitat came out. It's got a barn. I mean, reindeer are domesticated animals. They're farm animals, and they may be the only kind of deer that are actually domesticated by humans. Let's slide around to just so you can get a good view of it. And we'll jump in here real quick so that you can see it. I think you've probably seen the interior before, especially if you watch me build it. But yeah, it's got a barn. We do have some babies. One of our Dall sheep is about to die of old age. That's fine. They do that. Speaking of the Dall sheep, if we come around here, down this path, on the right, yeah, let's get this taken care of real quick. Let me move my face out of the way. Poor Tanner. We barely knew you. But what you do in this case, since animals do age, is you go into the animal trading and you can go down to Dall sheep right there. And since he was a male, we will replace him with another male, and you just have him sent to the habitat. But, the animals do grow old, and sometimes they get sick and die, and that looks remarkably like a that even there? Hold on. This is weird. Alright, let's move my face over here so I can get to this. What we're going to do is we're just going to do a little emergency surgery. This was not originally part of the tour, but, you know, you never know what's going to happen. We're just going to do that to close off the hole in the... Anyway, we're here at the doll sheep. And let me bring my face down here again. But we're here at the doll sheep, and this was the second habitat I built. Oh, look, he's jumping. And it worked out really well, and I like this. You know, it's right there. And if you look this way, you have our food court. I've got a coffee shop, I got a donut shop, I've got a restroom right there. And it's got tables and more education boards, and it leads directly to the Reindeer. And of course over here we do have an ATM for those guests who need more cash. And again, there's the doll sheep. And then over here, oh, we had another animal death. You know what? Another animal, an Arctic fox. I'm going to leave that for later. I'll deal with it after the tour's done, because if I am constantly interrupting the tour to do park maintenance. So we have this straight path here, and it's got some vending machines on the right and educational boards on the left, and then there's the path, this path here, that leads directly to the indoor-outdoor fox habitat. And this is a building. You know, the foxes are safe inside. You can come around this way and see where their sleeping area is. See, there he goes. He's just laying down for a nap. And then it goes over to here. Where there's an outdoor area for them. We got a lot of babies. And that back there is a staff area. I'll show you the staff area just so you can see it. These are various staff rooms. And of course the generator that keeps us all powered up. I'm going to turn this around. Come back out this way. And there's one of our veterinarians going back to the staff room. So over here we have yet another bathroom. And down this way we have a slushy shop, or a smoothie shop, and some more education boards. And then down here we have a Chief Beef, they're hamburgers. And over here we have an information shop and a Looney Balloons that are selling balloons. And then you come back around here, and this is our Arctic wolves. And, you know, the Arctic wolves are all very happy. We do have puppies. And, you know, it's all just one big pack. We have a cave, like a bedding area, sleeping area. And it is a pretty large habitat, but not greatly so. And, of course, on the other side, as you can see, we have the back side of, like, the restroom and the coffee shop and the hamburger joint that I put in. And then the path continues that way, but it also comes back over here, and this is the, you know, where the staff is. It's got a staff area, and these three facilities here, you've got a generator right here, you've got a water temperature control right there, and you've got a water purifier right there that cleans the water in the habitat. There's two of the mechanics. If we go into the habitat, you can see, you know, it's got multiple layers, multiple levels, and a cave where they can sleep. Here's one of the puppies. Technically they can go into this lake, but they generally don't. And then on top, there's the waterfall and the paper mache antelope that they can hunt, and it's all a very cool place for the wolves. All right, let's go back out. I love that wall. It just looks good. It's a perfect incorporation of the natural and the artificial. So you come back out this way, down this path. Now, if you go to the let's try and get this turned. If you go back this way, you'll end up with the food shops, and you'll eventually get to the reindeer. This way, you notice some of them are rubbing their arms and acting like they're cold. That's because I've dropped the temperature in this area. Now, this path up here curls back around to the doll sheep and the and the food court. There's a nice little bit of landscaping, and those are staff buildings in the back there. But you come down here and you get to this cave. Now I'm going to back it up so you can see it right there. This is the entrance to the polar bears. It's down a cave, and it's got some information on global warming. It's got some information on tundra and polar areas. And then you get out here, and everything's snowy, and everything's cold, and you've got the polar bears. Now I'm going to pull this back so you see how big the polar bear habitat is. So far, this is the biggest habitat in the zoo. Polar bears have enormous requirements when it comes to the size of their habitats. So, and it continues around this way. I have not yet finished this barrier with the fence. That's okay. The polar bears can't get out. The fence there is just cosmetic to keep the guests out. But back here, that leads to the staff area. And as you can see, the polar bear habitat itself, it's very stark. Polar bears don't require plants. I mean, I put a couple in here just to say that I did, but for the most part, they don't need vegetation because, I mean, you think about where they live. And the other thing is, I didn't cover everything. I didn't cover everything in this habitat with ice and snow because this zoo is supposed to be in your nation's capital. In my case, it would be Washington, D.C. Doesn't necessarily have to be Washington, D.C., but it's supposed to be a national capital. And so there's not a lot of national capitals that are in the North Pole. So it's not going to be pure ice and snow. But that's cool, And this, let me show you this. This is a resting jetty. They can sleep on it if they want, this little thing in the water. But I made sure that it was chained to the concrete at the bottom of the swimming area. I like that touch. It was just something I decided to do. There is, of course, another shop here. It's a drink shop. And we've got benches, and we've got trash cans, and decorations and landscaping, and it all looks very good in my opinion. So, and that's where you end up with the wild Arctic. When you're going through, you end up at the polar bears, and then you can go on back through the rest of the area. And I think it came out very well. I really like how it looks. I'm doing some landscaping in the surrounding area here to make it all look, like this is definitely a separate area. But we're going to do other things. We're going to do other animals. Like I don't know really what, but there'll be another area, another distinct area in this in this spot, but it'll be separated from the wild Arctic area by berms and by landscaping and by trees. And you'll definitely be able to tell that it's a separate area. Now, the next area that we're going to do, and I will go into it later with a planning video, is I'm going to do I'm calling it the Land Down Under. It's going to be 3 Australian animals. It's just going to be the koala, the red kangaroo, and the dingo. And it's going to be in this general area here. It's not going to be a large area, but it's definitely going to be a distinct area, and it's going to be right in here. And then after that, there's going to be an insect and spider house in here. Now, the insect and spider house is going to straddle a path that will lead down here into another area. It's not going to be like you walk into the building, you walk out of the building. It's actually going to be a way to progress to other areas through the building. So in that, the building itself is probably going to be primarily square or rectangle, because I'm going to do a crossways passage and a north-south passage like that. But it is going to have most, if not all, of the insects and the spiders in the game. So that was our tour of the wild Arctic area. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We're having more animals die of old age. It does happen. We're in year 44 of this game so far. Internally, 44 years has passed since I laid down my first building. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like button if you liked what you saw. Subscribe if you haven't already, because it'll help me out. It costs you nothing. And if you like my content, you might as well. I'll talk to you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.